moved school, they're on the regular system now, which is nice. Which is nice in a way. But all my friends are on half term already, and I'm like devastated.
Hi, welcome to Teacher Cast, everybody.
Teach cast.
Teach cast.
Yeah, all my like. I'm looking forward to the fact that I don't go back to work until November from Friday, which is like a rarity.
That's pretty spicy.
Feels quite nice.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I've just put Cokes at various points in the fridge so I can grab them easily if I need them.
See, this is what PLAYCast all about. All zero viewers watching at the moment. It's about preparedness, teaching, and pasta.
That's the big three, mate.
That's the big three.
And also, literally the big four is if we add in Coke and Pepsi as well.
That's true.
We've got to covered all the bases.
That's the mantra of PLAYCast. But yeah, I guess so. I'll introduce it on stream. This is pretty fun, pretty weird.
Go for it.
But yeah, here we go.
I'm gonna forget halfway through. It's recorded.
But yeah, here we go. Welcome to episode 7 of PLAYCast, appropriately titled Spooky Season, because we're jumping onto it's a bit of a weird one. For those of you listening on Spotify and whatnot, this is actually a Twitch stream that will have premiered the day before, where we'll be on Warzone playing the new Zombie Royale mode. So if you hear us screaming a lot during this podcast, that's why. We're not just going crazy inside the homes. Well, Tom might be, but I promise that.
I definitely am.
I promise we're okay. But today, I've got two lovely guests as always. I've got the always mysterious and wonderful Tom with me today. How you doing?
Good evening. Not too bad. How are you?
I'm all right.
No, time got away from me this evening, and I did massacre again tomorrow.
See. Well, look forward to that in the next couple of days, JUMPCUT fans. And we've got, as always, I say it every time you're on, but you're everywhere.
I know.
You're on.
I know.
I love it. I love the passion. But we've got Reese. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you. I am kind of exhausted from teacher chat and teaching just life, but I'm happy to be here. I'm excited to see what this is going to turn out to be.
I've been thinking about it all day. Like, this is such like a weird way to do it, but an interesting way. And ever since you like pitched the idea about it, like when PLAYCast started, I've been excited to try and find an opportunity to do it. And then this has kind of like presented itself perfectly for it as well. So we're kind of doing two birds with one stone. It's a horror special, and we're going to get scared ourselves, so it works out very well. But I will put us into a game and let the scares begin. But yeah, this episode I just really wanted to talk about kind of like our favourite horror games, the horror kind of genre in general, and just have a bit of a chilled episode, guys. And if you're watching on the Twitch stream, feel free to jump in with your own favourites and whatnot. But yeah, I guess I'll start. The other day I mentioned to you about like favourite horror games and stuff. It's not necessarily a horror game, but it's something I thought was horrorful in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas when I was like 7 or 8. And I'm alright, so the match it's going to cut me off in a second, but all I'm going to say before it cuts me off is it includes Bigfoot and Windows Movie Maker. And that has cut me off. So I'm just going to entertain you during this loading screen, I guess. Da 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 da. But yeah, if you are watching, please pop some of your favourite kind of horror games and whatnot in the chat. And we'd love to see what you think. What your favourite horror games are, favourite horror moments. It doesn't necessarily have to be in a horror game per se. But yeah, let us know what you're thinking while I entertain you during this loading screen. And there you go. I hope that was some incredible entertainment during that loading screen. Thank you so much for that.
I can't wait to hear what you vamped with there.
Okay. So, the year is a year when I was 7 or 8. The game is Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And this was in like the kind of like beginning of YouTube, when everybody was making like conspiracy videos on Windows Movie Maker. And everybody was using like that one song you would find in every like pivot animation video. I can't remember the one.
Pinnets.
Oh, it was probably like Linkin Park crawling. Everybody used to use that. And,
Oh,
and
God,
so,
yeah.
so it was like a conspiracy theory that Bigfoot was in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. It was like a big thing at the time. And they said that if you went to a certain location on the map at a certain time in certain weather conditions, you would see him in the distance. But if you tried to
I
get too
remember.
close to him, it would cause the game to restart, and it was like a huge, huge thing. And
Did it come? Was it true?
I don't think it was true.
Oh,
Because
I thought you were gonna have an answer
even
for this.
though I know, I thought I was going to solve the mystery myself. But even though these videos said, look, if you go to this location at this time, under these weather conditions, and you also take out your memory card and blow it and put it back in, that you would find Bigfoot, and unfortunately I did not find Bigfoot.
you were sold up a river there, mate.
I thought
We
I
were
was
for that
like
story.
getting absolute gold. Like, yeah, I'm like a goddamn hunter. And no, I was sold up the river, unfortunately. So that's one of my first like kind of horror experiences with a game, thinking that Bigfoot was in San Andreas, and I was like 7 or 8, thinking, yeah, I'm gonna take out my memory card because that'll work, and I'll blow on it, and I'll put it back in the PS2, and that will make Bigfoot appear at 3 a.m. on Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Oh, I'm so
Sorry.
glad it didn't work.
That is sophisticated technology that a PS2 back in the day could recognise when you've blown on your memory card. Like, that is quite impressive.
So yeah, I also thought that Leatherface was in the game, but that's just something else. I was duped again. I thought that if I went to a shack at 2 a.m. instead of 3 a.m., Leatherface would be there. And you know what, guys? Leatherface was not there. Because they have a thing called licensing rights, and that they probably did not have Leatherface
No.
within GTA San Andreas. So yeah, that's one of my earliest horror experiences. That's stuck with me for a long time. What about you guys?
Well, I'm not a very good guest to be on a podcast about horror games, just because I am probably the most easy scared human being there's ever been, especially when it comes to games. There's a guy in here, by the way. So I'm a frequent purveyor of watching like horror games on YouTube.
Yeah, yeah.
So like one of my first memories, I remember. Got hit.
Oh no,
got me
there's a zombie!
there.
There's a zombie! There's
He's
a
a
zombie!
shield guy. He's a shield guy. Oh, devastating.
Oh, I got him!
Nice. So one of my first kind of memories of one was back in the day. I used to watch loads of YouTube people play games.
Yeah, yeah.
And one of the first ones that remember really scaring me was Amnesia: The Dark Descent.
Yeah, yeah.
I used to watch people play that game so much, and it honestly terrified me. Like I would look out for certain episodes, and I would just kind of look out for the scares and look in the comments, see when the jump scares are, because I just became so horrified. So that is kind of my first thing with actual games. But when it comes to me playing one, I would say it's probably BioShock, the very first one, because that game has got a really legitimately terrifying atmosphere to it. And it was just, especially as you kind of first load in, you go kind of down underwater and you have all those like splices in the distance kind of screaming at you and tempting you to come and like attack them, and it really, really messed me around. So BioShock took me literally months or weeks to complete because I was just too scared to play it. And I've just got very vivid memories of being terrified shitless by that bloody game.
I just got killed by a zombie.
So, I've got you back.
I've never played any of the BioShock games, which is probably going to be like a major like shock to you, but I've never played them.
You are missing out, mate. Those games are incredible. The second one is like fine, but the first and the third one especially are two of my favorite games of all time.
It's pretty high claims
I've
to be
played
fair.
Infinite, and I really enjoyed that. And then I think I tried to play the first one, but yeah, I can't remember. I think I tried to play it on my PC and it just weren't having it, so I gave up. But I did,
Down to go in there, Sam.
Nice.
I have got them on my PS4. I think I've got the remastered ones. I will dive into them at some point.
Yeah.
I recommend it. If you can get the remastered version, it's incredible stuff.
What's like the actual like story and heavy like aesthetic that they go for? But I don't actually know what the kind of premise is.
So the first one is you start the game as like this random person who's just kind of flying somewhere, and your plane crashes in the water, and you swim to safety at this lighthouse, and this lighthouse has got a secret lift inside it and all these weird codes on the wall, and you find a dead guy, and you're like, this is suspicious. And then you discover there is this underwater world that is kind of run by this one guy called I forget his name. Would you kindly that guy? He's a really I don't know why I forget his name. And he's created this. It used to be like this absolute idyllic paradise for people to live in, and it just became this quite run-down, really kind of horrible place to live, and people went mental, and just you kind of explore through this game, and then this guy helps you on the radio called Atlas, and he guides you through the game, and the story is it's worth kind of watching unfold as you play, because it is amazing. One of the best stories I think I've played through in a game. Me personally, I probably described that terribly to any Bioshock fans listening. But,
I think you did a good job. I think I get what you're saying.
It's worth experiencing. And then the second one is you go back underwater, but the third one is set before the first game, and you find the society in the sky rather than underwater, and it's a whole different kettle of fish, and it's just it is one of the best game series I've ever played for me.
And you've played these as well, Tom?
I played the third one, and I played probably about a couple of hours of the first one. I really enjoyed Infinite. That was I think I played through that in like 1 or 2 weekends.
Bloody hell.
Infinite is amazing. Infinite is actually that was going to be my kind of main scary thing to mention. Is just this guy. Because there is a moment in the third game, I'm sure Tom knows what I'm about to refer to. There's these horrible enemy characters called the Boys of Silence, and they're the kind of character that they don't speak, and they can't hear you. What? Oh, I'm dead. I was chased by a zombie. They don't speak and they can't hear you, but they have this really kind of horrible cone of vision, so they're completely silent. You've got to stay silent while you walk around them, because they can hear you, I think, from very, very far away, or something like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a point in the game where you go to watch a cutscene in this building, and you're just kind of having a lovely time watching the cutscene. And as you exit the cutscene, you turn around, and the Boy of Silence is right behind you and screams in your face. And I am not joking when I say I shat my pants. Like, or probably literally did shit my pants.
Okay.
Guy there.
Oh
Yeah,
shit!
I remember that bit. I remember. Oh, that was horrible. Yeah.
It's not very nice at all, to be honest.
What about you then, Tom? Like, what kind of like early horror experiences then have you got with games?
I think the first one I remember playing was the original Silent Hill PlayStation. And I definitely played that far too young. And yeah, I remember me and my brother playing it, scaring ourselves shitless. Playing it in the middle of the night when parents were asleep.
Right.
And then not sleeping for the rest of the night. I don't think we ever played it again. I don't think we ever touched it. After that, we didn't get very far either.
The Silent Hill games are games that I refuse to play. Any kind of game like that where didn't play Silent Hill, I didn't play Outlast, for example. Like, where the game's main intent is to scare you, I'm just horrific at playing them.
Yeah, I agree.
I can't do it. I refuse to do it.
Sort of big myself up to play them.
Yeah.
like something like Dead Rising. Like, I quite enjoy stuff like that. I don't know if they're like fully clapped. Like the Dead Rising franchise, I quite enjoy them. And that was probably after like in my teens. I think Dead Rising was probably the first horror game that I probably played through.
Yeah. I do like the Dead Rising games. I've only ever played the second one properly though. I've not played like the others.
Oh,
like...
I didn't like the second one at all.
You didn't?
The second one was so annoying. I think it was just the fact that you had to like keep running backwards and forwards to give. I can't remember if it's your kid or another like someone's kid some anti-zombie.
Yeah, the antiviral thing.
That's all you felt like you were doing was just running backwards and forwards.
Ooh, another loading screen. Is this another time where I have to entertain? I'm thinking it is. Do you have any choice words, my guest in the room, Becky, to PLAYCAST episode 7, spooky season? No. That's a no, everybody. That's our sponsored message from our guest in the room, Becky. That's a no. TM, copyright 2020. Yeah.
I'm literally just getting bits of what you're saying.
You gotta keep the troops entertained. And that was our sponsored message there from Becky. Do you have anything to say? And it's a stern no, everybody. It's a stern no. She does have a sponsored message, everybody, but I'm afraid there's obscenities that I cannot repeat that are so strong that it would probably get us banned off Twitch. And I just can't repeat those obscenities, unfortunately. I would prefer, Becky, if you stopped using obscenities during this break, this commercial break between lobbies. You can't be using
Christian
words
lobby.
like that. It is Christian lobby. Like swearing in. That's right. I'd like to just include that we don't represent the views of the guest in the room, Becky, today, who's part of the studio audience for PLAYCAST episode 7.
The audience.
Yeah, I remember.
Go on.
I remember Dead Rising 2. Like I say, I remember getting it because I had that Tony Hawk game where you had the skateboard that you had to like stand on, and it didn't work properly. I thought it was just something to do with the game, but it turns out it was just like a badly designed game in the end. So I ended up taking it back to HMV, like, oh yeah, it don't work for some reason. I'm like, oh, that's a shame. Here's your £40 back. And I'm like, okay, can I have this instead, please? And that was how I got Dead Rising 2. Interesting tidbit for you there. I know that was a riveting thing.
I don't think I ever owned it. I think my mate bought it around when he stopped over one night and we played it, and he lent it me for a couple of days. But I literally played it once and just got annoyed having to run back through these ducks to give this vaccine to this kid.
Are you just trying to say, Tom, on PLAYCAST that you hate children?
I work in schools. I can't comment. I've got a lot to say.
It's weird because my kind of like horror experiences with games aren't like traditionally from horror games, like the actual genre. It's like I can remember when I had the first Max Payne game, which I definitely played too young. There's a level in that where he's like hallucinating and he's like imagining that he has to walk on a path created like his dead child's like footsteps.
Oh my god.
And as you're walking on those like footsteps, it's like if you fall off, like you fall off the level kind of thing. And it was like so frustrating having to navigate. It's like a maze, and as you're walking across it, you like hear his like child crying as well, like consistently in the background. And I can remember playing that.
I don't like that.
Really, really young. And that's always stuck with me. Like it's just like really strong horror imagery in a game. I just got shotgunned to death. So
Yeah, I think I'm the same really. Like horror games, I have to sort of big myself up to play them, so I don't go out my way to play them a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Like Alien Isolation, it took me.
Oh.
I bought it on Steam. It was on sale, and I'd watched some I just couldn't psych myself up to play it. I just couldn't do it. And then I think I did it for play. I think I did like a couple of hours stream, and I literally got to the first bit where you meet the xenomorph, and I was like, nope, I am not doing this.
I was wondering when that game would come up because I think we've all had like kind of collective experiences where we just can't play it.
No, yeah, I have to play that game. I never completed it. I had to play it in 20-minute increments to have any hope of getting through it, and I'm like you. I got to probably around maybe 20 minutes past you meeting the xenomorph, and it completely destroyed me.
I remember playing it when my friend brought it round. Like we had a few friends round. When you could do that, when you could have people round at your house in that far away time. And he said, yeah, I'll just bring a few games round. I think he brought like Street Fighter and stuff like that. And then he brought, oh yeah, let's all have a go in Alien Isolation. That'll be fun at 2 o'clock in the morning. And then we're like playing it, and it's popping up with a heartbeat monitor. And I was just like, no.
No.
And
Definitely not.
I don't know what it is about that game. I think it's just because it replicates the atmosphere of Ripley Scott's like early like kind of alien films so well. It's just it's too much.
Yeah, you say you could literally be doing nothing and you.
It just feels so eerie.
Yeah,
it's horrid. And it was, I think, for me, it was the fact that the xenomorph learned how you played.
Yeah.
And that really ruined it for me, because the vents were my safety place, and then you suddenly get to a point in the game when but the xenomorph is in the vents now, and I was like, I think I'm good. I'm gonna stop playing this game now forever.
I think like the first, like if we're talking like actual horror games and that I've played, the first kind of one I got stuck into was the first Fear game. Have you guys ever played any of those?
Again, I've watched it on YouTube. That's about it.
So the first one, like I found out about from a friend who used to play it on like a PC, and he just mentioned like the kind of concept of it. But he kind of sold me on it as like an FPS, so I wasn't really aware that there were these like horror elements to it. So I bought the game, thinking, yeah, it's just like going to be cool kind of thing. And then it turns out it's about like a grudge-looking girl her mission is to haunt you throughout the entire game and send people to kill you. And I'm like, oh, okay, it's that kind of game.
It is horrid.
And there's so many like really well done scares in that game, and there's one in particular where you're climbing like a ladder, and there's like vents on the other end of the ladder where your hands are. And as you're climbing up, like just as you're about to get to the top, her face like pops up and grabs you like through the ladder, and that's always stuck with me. I've
seen that before.
But yeah, that's like one of the first proper horror games I've played. I played the others in that series, but I don't ever really think they kind of captured that kind of horror vibe. Again, they kind of lent more into this kind of shooters as that kind of genre took off with like Call of Duty and whatnot in the past couple of years. But yeah, Fear's always stuck with me. But it brings me on to like a point I was thinking about as well when I was thinking about this episode. Like, when we talk about horror, like as we do on JUMPCUT and stuff, obviously a lot of it is films, and I think the way you engage with horror films as a movie is so much different, because you can be passive in it, so you can't be as scared, if you get me. You can look away from the screen. You don't have to be like an active participant. Whereas with games, you have to be immersed in it. You have to be part of it. And I think that as the medium itself, horror games, is so interesting to look at, just because it forces you to be scared, and it forces you to be part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think one of the games that really made me think like that was more recently was Until Dawn. I think I played it a couple of years ago, and it plays out like a horror film, doesn't it? Like these teens,
it does,
the cabin and all that, and you've seen it 100 times, but the fact that you play as these teenagers, a random Rami Malek.
The 42-year-old Rami Malek, yeah.
It's got such a big cast, hasn't it? that game.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I was quite surprised because I didn't know anything about the game. I knew it was a horror game, but I think it was on PS Plus for free. So I downloaded it,
Yeah.
and I think it was like last October or the October before. I was like, yeah, it's spooky month. Let's go for it. And then I played it for a good solid few days. I got quite far into it. I don't think I ever completed it.
I've got it on my hard drive, like you say, when it was free. I know, if you didn't see that, people listening to the podcast, I got 2 revives. I'm a team player. And I killed someone. In the name of justice.
In the name.
Yeah, I've got Until Dawn on my account, but like I say, because I'm quite adverse, like funnily enough to be on horror, so I'm quite adverse to downloading them. I haven't got stuck into it. Like my kind of limit at the moment is playing Friday the 13th. That's my limit. And I think that
you
works.
Say playing, you mean just getting stuck in floorboards?
Yeah, getting stuck in the floorboards, and then you wondering why you can't kill me, and then I nearly win the game. I can't believe I didn't win that. I'm still fuming. But yeah,
I played that game a few times, and it was just like it was so janky that I just couldn't buy into it.
I think that's kind of the charm, though. Like why it doesn't really scare me as much because I'm too busy laughing at how kind of broken it is.
The faces they pull and everything. It's just
it's chef's kiss. That's what it is. Dead by Daylight, though, like in the same kind of token as that kind of game, that does actually scare me.
I think I played one match of that and I couldn't.
Dead by Daylight is fun.
Ooh,
but I am horrendous at it. So you've got to like fix the what are they called? Fix the generators through the map.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, those mini you've got to press X at the right time. I don't think I ever got a single one correct. I always messed it up, and it was just that game ruined it for me.
It frustrates me doing those generators because if you have somebody else doing with it, most of the time they never get the sequences right.
No, I know.
But yeah, Dead by Daylight. Yeah, I don't like playing as the killer on it because even then I think that's too scary. Trying to hunt people down.
I do keep seeing like all the DLC they've got for it, like Ghostface and stuff like that, and I would like to try it again, but
you just can't. You can't commit to.
I watched some the other day actually, and they've got like all of the the most famous horror film killers. Like, so you can play as the Scream killer, you can play as Michael Myers, you can play as Jason, you can like do them all. Freddy Krueger, pretty cool.
I've seen they've got like Steve from Stranger Things in it as well.
Yeah, they have. Yeah.
Are they really?
Yeah, which I thought was like super random.
They've got a Demogorgon in it now as a.
Oh, that's quite cool. Demogorgon. Didn't random again, but didn't you say over there, Reese, that they had a Stranger Things event in Rocket League?
They did. It was really cool.
Oh,
it was,
that was awesome.
They changed one of the maps to.
Oh.
Oh, I nearly killed the saw.
I saw that.
Ow! Oh, yeah, they changed one of the maps in Rocket League to be haunted by the Demogorgon that was like floating above it. It looks so cool. I'm annoyed they didn't bring it back this year because it looked awesome.
I swear I didn't see anything about it when they put it in that game. So when you told me the other day, I was actually surprised because I never heard about it. I don't know why.
Oh, I'm sure. I think I might have put like one picture on it on Twitter at the time. But honestly, it looks so nice.
Was it for like the release of season 3, or was it just like kind of an event that they did?
I think it was a mixture of season 3 and Halloween. Kind of they coincide at the same time, roughly. So they made it into a Rocket League sponsored thing, and it looked sick.
Right, I see.
I was impressed.
I do like a bit of Rocket League. Spooky Rocket League. I wonder if that is a thing they were going to bring back. There's no horror events, is there, this year for Rocket League? Is there?
There is an event. It's just not like it's not incredible. You got 20 grand, Tom.
I just picked up a bag. I didn't have it a minute ago.
Tom is now the richest guest on PLAYCast.
Oh, bring Sam back quick.
I can't believe
Yeah,
you just did that.
There's a Ghostbusters thing on Rocket League at the minute, isn't there?
Is there?
I don't understand the gameplay.
It's
like
madness.
a heat-seeking
I really like it,
ball or
actually.
something. I don't understand it, but it's fun.
It took me a while to get into it, but yeah, I do like the new game mode.
What do you have to do on it?
It's like, so the ball is like heat-seeking towards the goal whenever you hit it.
Right.
So it's always getting faster and faster every single time someone else touches it. So you just got to try and block, and it's really fun, actually. It is it's very enjoyable.
I'd be keen to have a go on that, actually. I'd be very keen.
These zombies, man. Oh god.
Yeah, I can hear about 4 of them around me, and it's creeping me out. I don't know whether you guys ever played, but I know we talk about like Metal Gear like in the play chat a bit. But the second Metal Gear, there's a sequence towards that like I'm just thinking the moments that I've always stuck in my mind. There's a sequence towards that where the game starts to kind of warp the player's mind into thinking they're being like watched almost by the game, and like the experience is kind of manipulated or like entirely around them, and it's like very meta. And there's a bit where I don't know, yeah, typical Kojima fashion. There's a bit that I've always thought like was kind of eerie, and I don't know why, but the game like manipulates you into turning the PlayStation 2 off.
What?
Like it tells you to turn it off on purpose, like to stop something from happening. I can't remember what it was, like the specifics, but
What?
yeah, like it manipulates you into turning it off. And there's loads of videos on YouTube of that moment, and like it's proper like playing with your mind. Like you need to turn this game off now, player, otherwise blah 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 will happen. And like people did it, and then when you reloaded the game, nothing happened. But like the game's like forcing your mind to like perceive it as real or not.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
But that's just always like lingered to me, because it's like, what is the limit with like games and that kind of effect they have on you like after you've stopped playing them? So I've always thought about that. Genius it is.
There were a few points of Kojima. There were points of Death Stranding that I did not enjoy from a horror perspective.
Yeah.
Like the first time you encounter the BTs and like you have that like first initial kind of BT attack as you're walking up towards the what's it called? Wind turbine area.
Yeah.
And then you get attacked by that first kind of like whale. That really freaked me out. I just didn't expect it, and it really like the music when that happens is quite horrible and intense, and it was just that was a very interesting experience to be terrified during.
Death Stranding has got some pretty kind of like harrowing moments in it as in general, just like with the whole kind of story of the game. I can't remember which moment it is now. The bit where you have to kind of take all those big kind of gas things into that ocean and you have to throw them away, and it's like proper emphasizing like if you don't do this you're going to kill fucking everyone. And that kind of like pressure in itself is like it's just so, again, like just really playing on your mind.
To me, that was overwhelming, because I remember, I think I tweeted about it, where at the time I was also carrying all of the ceramics in the planet, apparently. And then it was like, oh, by the way, here's a nuclear bomb you've got to detonate in 10 minutes. And I tried to run with this backpack full of ceramics, and the game was like, you are going to fall over 25 times unless you stop what you're doing and sort yourself out here properly. And I was like, I looked like an absolute fool, I'm sure, just running through this wasteland carrying a nuclear bomb, just carrying ceramic plates on my back. Just insane. What a game, though. What a game.
Incredible. I love that. I just feel like that game has like had a good time to have kind of a delayed response to it, because I feel like it came out and obviously I don't think a lot of people knew kind of what to make of it, and then this year with everything that's kind of happened, it's had a really kind of odd resurgence in a way, even though it's not an old game. It's had like it's found its own kind of niche following.
Yeah, it has.
I really love that.
I can't comment.
Tom.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Let's not mention that again.
First episode of PLAYCast, and I'm informed on air that you gave Reese his copy of Death Stranding back just because you quote unquote couldn't get into it.
Oh, honestly. You think you know someone, and then
I wonder what you're going to say in the loading screen now. You're going to be calling me out, aren't you?
Maybe I will. You used to be fam and now you're just bro. But as we jump into the next commercial break, I'll see you on the other side. Hello, PLAYCast listeners. This is the... Oh, it's not brought us onto the loading screen. It's brought us back to the lobby.
Straight to the lobby.
And I was about to do some lovely advertising then via the loading screen. I was vamping. It was full on Sam for however so long, 30 seconds. Full on me. But I guess we'll just jump into another game. I wonder why it took us back. I didn't press that. I pressed it to go to the next one.
That's what it wants.
I'm not at a jump scare yet. I want a jump scare.
Are you saying you actively want to be scared?
Yeah. Because they can be funny content.
Reese, do it for the Vine.
Oh, that was been a mantra for about 10 years.
I'd like to hear Reese, one of Reese's screams.
Maybe we will. Maybe we will.
No.
Let's hope.
There's no...
Hi, welcome back to another commercial break in JUMPCUT. I hope you're all doing well. This is a lovely platform for me to speak to you, the audience. How you doing? It's a bit of an odd format compared to other episodes, but I hope you're enjoying it so far. And I hope we get to hear Reese scream soon. I hope you heard that part. We'll see. Pure vamping.
I think we heard that part.
I think you heard that part. I was just speaking to the lovely audience, saying I hope that they hear you scream, Reese.
I mean, I'll do what the people want, mate. If they want me to scream, I can do it.
I don't want you to do it on demand. I don't want you to think you're some kind of performing monkey.
It's got to be authentic in the moment.
I only want authentic celluloid on film screams. the Scorsese authenticity of screams. That's what I want.
I can do that.
I appreciate
see what I can do. Although, like I said, be safe for this game to infuriate me. So you bank it.
Sure of the context Reese is referring to. There's a very lovely clip of him in the gulag for best Warzone moments I've ever encountered. I just think there's something so incredible about that clip because it just comes out of nowhere. It's like a really unbridled rage that comes from you.
It's one of those things where I don't remember the gulag itself, but I'm sure I was like on the verge of winning it, and the other guy pulled it back and took it from me. Oh, at that point in the night, I think I just had enough, and then I needed to vent something out of my system.
I love that the iconic scream as it now is now like it's got a bit of a prequel before it. It's got a little bit of you just going, and then you have the amazing moment.
It's a little like a noise. I pause for half a second and then I let one rip. I'm just like, oh.
I think what I might do when I export obviously the stream for you lovely Spotify and Apple Podcast and whatnot listeners, I will put that clip in between just so you've got context. I will obviously lower the volume quite a bit because if you're listening in headphones, it's something.
It is something, and I can only apologise for what you may be about to hear or have just heard.
I don't think you should apologise. Like that's just like peak male performance in one clip. So don't apologise for that.
Whoa!
Whoa!
A zombie just landed right in front of me.
All these zombies in this map are really like confusing my thoughts on the subject of this podcast. So I hope it doesn't sound like a lot of ramble, guys. But as I say, this is a very different format for us.
I've rambled plenty, I think, already on this episode.
Jumping back to other games, did either of you play the Left 4 Dead games?
Oh, yes!
So,
absolutely love those games.
You're going to be shocked again. I've not played them, but I've watched other people play them.
Oh.
And it's one of those things I've always wanted to play, but at the time when they came out, I had a PS3, and the PC I had wasn't good enough to really run it. So I've just never played them. So what exactly have I missed out on?
Oh, it's the ultimate horde mode. It is what it is.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Did it happen?
That scared the life. No, I saw there's a ghost here. That is horrendous.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that. Oh, I hated that. Anyway, Left 4 Dead is it's the ultimate horde mode. It's like you and up to 4 people just against hundreds and hundreds of zombies. And when I say hundreds, I mean literally hundreds, probably even thousands. And there's like different kind of boss type zombies where you've got like guys who explode, a witch if you style her, she causes absolute mayhem. It's great game, and it's one of those games that it has had a bit of resurgence recently. I think I've seen more people playing on YouTube, and it's one of those games a bit like kind of Half-Life 3. People have always been clamoring for a Left 4 Dead 3, which I would play every single second of. Because I know did either of you play the recent World War Z game?
No, but I did hear that it was all right from quite a few people.
I heard it was okay. Yeah, I think that's the closest thing we've had to Left 4 Dead since Left 4 Dead 2 came out. So I think if that comes out free or cheap on the store, I might potentially buy that at some point.
I know that Left 4
because
Dead,
it looks fun.
I know it's had a bit of resurgence recently because I think they've just released on PC like the first update for it in about 10 years or so.
Oh, really?
Yes, I think that's why a lot of people have jumped back onto it. I mean, I know it's quite popular, I know, as you say, but I think a lot of people are streaming it and whatnot at the minute because of this update. I don't know exactly what it's added, but I saw that in like the news the other day.
Ooh, I have to look into that.
I feel like PLAYCast, similar to Nick,
game.
is where I come to out myself on the games I haven't played, and then Nick goes on to JUMPCUT to out himself on the films he hasn't seen.
It is. If you get you and 3 mates on, it is a good night.
It is such a good fun game.
It's only on like PC and Xbox, isn't it? Left 4 Dead. It's always been like a Microsoft exclusive.
Yeah, which is a shame.
Because I'm quite an avid zombies fan, as I gushed about on that PlayStation 5 showcase episode. So yeah, I probably would dig the hell out of Left 4 Dead. In fact, I might check like if I can run it decently on my PC, and I might get it. I should be able to. The game's fairly old.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it's too demanding.
Tom, I can run really Among Us at a very solid 60 FPS, so I'm confident that I can run Left 4 Dead. I'm confident in that. I wonder.
The zombies charge jump is so satisfying.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It reminds me of Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, it does actually. The charge jump. Yeah.
Yeah, holding X on that reminds me of that.
Yeah.
With
where are these?
Among Us, actually, would you say that kind of falls into like the kind of horror genre in a way?
In a very minor way.
Yeah,
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Because you're like on the run from a killer. I guess so.
As I was thinking the other day, like there's a lot of these kind of top-down games. There's some horror ones as well, and there's a great article actually that went out today on Play. From Chaz about this game called Darkwood, and that's kind of like a top-down limited perspective game, and the way Among Us kind of like only shows you part of what's been seen unless I mean I've only played it that one time with you guys the other day, but if you turn all like the cameras and stuff on, do you get to like see the kind of whole perspective like as you're running around, or is it always just that fixed kind of 90-degree angle?
Yeah,
so it's always fixed.
It's always fixed, yeah, the same thing, which is, I think it feeds into it because it does kind of impact what you can and can't see. And you've really got to be quite careful with when you kill if you're the imposter, because you don't quite know who could be around the corner, who could have just seen you do something.
Yeah.
So it does make it really interesting. We played it the other day. It was so much fun.
I still think the best quote from that night, for the audience out there, our lovely Murphy from JUMPCUT, we might have suspected him. We might have been quizzing him a little bit, and I asked him what he was up to, and he's like, "I don't have to explain myself to you." The point of the game.
He really played into the character, didn't he? He really bought into the concept. That was really funny.
I felt like we're in like Knives Out, and like we were interrogating him. He's like, "I don't have to explain myself to you."
Makes no damn sense.
compels me though. But yeah, I was thinking when we were playing that, like, just like in back of my mind, like this has got some kind of horror vibes to it. Just like in the fact it kind of in space, and it's got like very, very, very loose kind of alien themes, like the kind of theme of like isolation in space and being separated from each other. But yeah, I think that's like a really interesting game on its own. Anyway, Among Us, like just outside of like kind of entertainment value of it, just like taking that top-down perspective that you've seen quite a lot recently, like especially in games like Outline Miami and stuff like that. And then it's
great game.
yeah, and then it's getting kind of like a very simplistic kind of like gameplay mode as well, because you only use like if you're on your phone, like you just use it with one button. If you're on a computer, you can either use the keyboard to move, or you can just literally use the mouse. And I think even that in itself is kind of interesting because it's drawing all your focus, like really to concentrate on ratting the other people out and not necessarily the gameplay itself.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool.
Well, Alright, sorry, I'm distracted. I'm being shot at here.
I did hear that in distance.
The perils of Warzone recording.
We're journalists in the battlefield of Verdansk.
Absolutely. This is what it feels like.
Tom, have you played Among Us yet?
I haven't. No, I need to download it.
It's
That's all I'm seeing on my timeline at the minute is that.
Definitely worth it. Like, you can get it on Steam
really
for like
is.
£4, or you can just get it on your phone for free.
I also, for some reason, when we were playing it the other day, I've been playing on my phone without any audio. For some reason, it just suddenly kicked in yesterday, or we played it the other day. So I've been like, this music is really nice. I'm like, what the hell is this? This is not happening in the night.
I don't think I've got the music enabled when I play it the other way. I think I just turned it off and had purely like the sound effects on, so just the moving. So I wouldn't even know what the music sounds like. Because I was trying to get all the audio right when we were on Discord, and then Murphy joined and kicked himself out of the game.
I know. That's madness.
Amazing.
Classic Murphy.
Classic Murphy. I feel like we should start a segment on Play, just Classic Murphy.
Classic Murphys, yeah.
The first chapter, and it's an iconic story now, even though it happened a few months ago, audience. The first time we ever played with Murphy on Warzone, and I'll bring it up all the time because I think it's an incredible way to showcase your finesse within the Warzone kind of battlefield. This is like when Warzone dropped. I'm like, okay, there's an enemy, and we asked him where the enemy was, and he's just commented in the Twitch chat, no! Murphy, I'm bigging you up, my guy. This is an amazing story. We'll tell our children about this in the future.
This is an iconic moment.
This is an iconic moment, and if you're ever in need of a compass, Murphy's the guy to ask for, because what happened was, I asked him, okay, where's the enemy coming from? And he said, in great wisdom, is coming from the way that is coming.
He said it with his whole chest. He didn't.
It was beautiful. Like you could feel the ferocity, the confidence when he said that. And you know what? I believed him. He was coming from the way that it was coming. Murphy, how do you feel about the story? I didn't realise you were in the chat, but you've made yourself very clear that you are there with a very long no. I don't read compass good, is what Murphy says. I'm going to buy you a compass, Murphy. I'll get it engraved.
Christmas present.
Christmas present, and it will say on the top of it, this compass came from the way that it came.
Little map of Verdansk in the top section.
Maybe I'll put a picture of myself like in the underbit, like Peggy Carter in Captain America. Like you can keep.
What you said. I'm gonna put a little picture of me in my underwear.
I mean, Murphy, if you want that, DM me privately, not on the Twitch chat. If you want that, that can be arranged. But no, Playcast listeners, I won't be sending myself a picture of Murphy in my underwear unless he requests it with consent. Of course, I would send him that. He's put, I know now, of course, it just took me 30 or 40 games to get it.
30 or 40?
I think that's a good number to learn how to read a compass.
How many games of this do you reckon we've played?
I think we've played well like into the 600s.
I'd say so, which is terrifying.
Nah, no it's not.
different time though, isn't it? It's
It's COVID time.
like we always said though. The Warzone dropped at such a perfect time.
It really did.
They couldn't have timed it any better.
Yeah.
Really.
It's odd because Call of Duty, a game about shooting people, has been the game that has brought everybody together in such a personal way over the past couple of months and episodes. But it's true. It really has been kind of a godsend game this year. And now the fact that we're playing a horror game inside of it is an entirely different kind of experience. Murphy, tell us more about your compass reading skills while we've got you here. Tell something to the PLAYCast audience, on our listeners that will hear this tomorrow. A fun fact, a fun factoid. Share a horror game factoid. Let's keep this podcast on track.
Our producer there in the Twitch chat, keeping us in line.
I can just imagine Murphy in a recording studio booth looking at his watch, and we're in the actual recording room with the glass, and he's looking at us well, you're costing us fucking money.
What are you on about?
Oh my god, it's a full team. We'll find out.
Type faster.
I'm gonna watch you, Tom. I'm gonna put pressure on you.
I'm dead, mate.
Okay, I guess I won't be watching you then.
Oh no.
I'll watch your name then in the corner and wait to see if you get revived.
Oh man.
Everyone's watching, Reese.
You've got 2 spectators. Who could they be?
You'll find some quiche, lads.
I dropped about 20 grand if you can find my body.
That's just you every game.
I'm trying to find quiche.
I feel like Murphy doesn't want to share his stories now after I outed him. With
I think you've upset him.
Murphy, I wasn't intentional. I was just trying to show the world your navigation skills. I don't know why, but since we played Among Us the other night, the quote that I stuck in my head, other than I don't need to explain myself, is you, Reese, saying that Corey's the cartographer of Among Us.
He is. He literally was. He was all of us were new to that game, and yet he was like, "Oh yeah, you were over in this area, this area." I was like, "Mate, come on now, put your map away."
He was proper phasing me out because I didn't know what the areas were called. I'm like, yeah. I'm in cafeteria. That's where I am. He's like, no, you're not, mate. No, you're not. I know you're in this area. Yeah. No. Yeah, of course, mate. Of course. It's not me. It's not me, mate.
I want a treat.
Murphy says, is Resident Evil the best horror game franchise? If not, what else can you think of that is representative of the genre?
Ooh,
that's a good question.
Franchise. That is a good question.
See,
I mean, Resident Evil is a game that I have literally never played in my entire life. So.
Well, I've only just started kind of diving into them recently, so I don't know whether I would personally say.
I've played the first one. I played 20 minutes of the first one. I just cannot agree with that camera.
The fixed perspective.
Yeah, I just can't get on with it.
Have you the version you've played? Is it the remastered one or the OG one?
I think it was the OG one.
Because I found with the remaster one, I don't know if it's present in the original, but the control scheme, once I changed that, the analog stick felt so much better, and it didn't really bother me then with the perspective. So it might be worth looking at.
I know the Corey and Murphy and that were chatting the other night about the other games that they'd recommend in the series.
Yeah.
I probably will check some out at some point. But yeah, I just couldn't get on with that one.
I think definitely in pop culture, Resident Evil's definitely representative of the genre, but personally to me, just because I've got so little experience with it, I don't know whether I personally would say that, but I can definitely see why others would. And the fact that it spawned incredible feats of cinema as well.
What? I mean, incredible is a bold statement.
You're on about they're absolute masterpieces. You seen the Monster Hunter trailer, Reese? That's cinema right there, my guy.
I mean, I'm actually kind of excited for that film. Purely from a dumb film perspective.
Yeah. I did watch the trailer and think, like, with the monsters and stuff, yeah, this is extremely Reese's shit.
Anything Big Monster is got my name written all over it.
If you're wondering why we're getting tense right now, listeners on Spotify and whatnot, it's because Reese has currently burrowed himself in the top part of a barn conversion to hide from zombies in the final circle.
Look at that on the mini map. On my, oh my god, there are about 15 people in my general vicinity.
17 zombies.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, 18. There you go. You're just making it worse for yourself. Oh, 22.
I did.
25.
25.
That's the thing as well. Like, killing the zombies on this mode, they're going to see the kill cam, think, you know what, I'm coming for you.
I know. And I think being in a barn is actually quite helpful because they can't really get in this accurately without coming through the top.
Until one
there we go.
Oh!
I've been EMP'd, so I've got no map. There we go. Oh no.
Oh. Oh my god.
Have either of you played either of you played Alan Wake?
Yes!
That's a game. That's a game I downloaded on Game Pass the other week. I've never played it.
Sorry, Tom, carry on.
No, I'll let you scream. Keep going. No, that's another one I've heard loads of good things about and not actually played myself. I think it's on Game Pass at the minute, so I downloaded that. But you say you played it, Sam?
Sorry, I was just biting into a chicken burger there. I've been like slowly eating it over the course of the podcast since the food arrived. Yeah, I have played Alan Wake. Like the kind of easy comparison for it is that it's very much like Twin Peaks inspired, but it's such a good game. It's by the developers of the original Max Payne and Control as well. Have you played Control?
No, I want to play
Never.
it. But yeah, I've not bought it yet. I keep waiting until it goes on sale,
Yeah.
and then I just haven't actually bought it yet. But it does. I don't really know anything about it. I've just seen like loads of screenshots and stuff of it, and it looks really good.
It's definitely worth like looking at. But after this next commercial break, I will wax lyrical about Alan Wake with you.
Got to get that plug in for the local takeaway.
So welcome back to another commercial break. Food provided by Freddy's in Sheffield. And yeah, I just had if you're wondering what I had today off the menu from Freddy's, I got myself a nice, I believe they call it a tower burger. So it's just 2 nice chicken fillets, bit of cheese, bit of lettuce, bit of mayo, and some wedges as well, because why not? And if you're in the Sheffield area, Freddy's is the one to go for. I don't think Tom's had a Freddy's yet, and he's laughing, but once he tastes that chicken goodness, those laughs will turn into godlike bellows from heavens above. That's an endorsement for Freddy's. Ooh. Oh, I thought we were putting us into another game then, but apparently not. This is such an odd way to podcast. And we're nearly at the end of this commercial break, and as we jump back into the game, there we are.
Quite literally.
I hope you enjoyed that commercial break there. Advertisement for Freddy's in Sheffield. You want a chicken burger? You want a wrap? Maybe even a pizza. I can't say the pizza's made out of chicken, but they do pizzas. Go get yourself one. Any other food establishments you'd like to provide today, Tom or Reese?
No, but can we address you saying that your loss was into godlike bellows? What was that about?
That's the kind of feeling that you
What is
get
it?
when you tuck into a double stacker chicken burger from Freddy's, mate.
Wow.
That's how good it is.
That is... I mean, is it not just a generic takeaway?
How dare you utter those words about Freddy's on this podcast? We've just given them some lovely
it's no
promo.
Cheetos and Dinos, is it?
how dare you? We're just giving them some live promo, and you besmirch their name like that.
Hey,
Hey.
I'm heading into that takeaway this week. I'm gonna play him this episode. And say, look, give me a burger. We'll big you up.
Like,
As a non-Sheffield man, I don't see the appeal of Freddy's.
look, mate. I promise you, it's not just generic chicken. I would say that Freddy's
Yes,
like is
man.
legitimate. I mean, it's easy these days to be better than KFC because I think KFC's pretty weak these days. If I'm honest with you,
Oof.
I do, Tom. But Freddy's, I do,
Old.
I do.
Old.
I just on an unrelated note on this horror podcast about games. I would like to note that KFC in recent years, seeing as we're getting into it, they used to have incredible fries about 7 years
Mate,
ago.
The fries are so much better now.
Oh, give over,
They're so
Tom.
much better now.
Oh, give
They're so
over,
much better
Reese. No, when they had the thinner fries, yeah, we were in business.
Oh. The new ones are the shit. They're so good.
And now they've got these like wannabe skin on Five Guys fries. They're not any good, mate.
Oh, I don't think nothing will beat Five Guys fries.
At least we agree on that. And I'm being revived, so I guess I can't talk shit too much about your opinions on KFC. But I just feel like KFC's really gone down in the echelons of fast food in the UK.
And the what?
In the echelons of
echelons.
fast food.
Wrong word, that. You can tell podcast Sam's on if you're using the word echelon.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm really trying to entertain the viewers with my opinions on fast food. Pulling out echelons for you. I hope you enjoyed that. Well, there's a zombie! Ah!
No!
Oh
no.
Oh no, I thought I got him, it's just you dying shit! Ah! I got him! I got him!
One way back up.
Anyway, KFC. Yeah, it's just really gone down in my estimation. It's like, I think Burger King is up there now, and I didn't used to think it was, but it is. And I know that's not chicken, but I'm just putting it out there.
Burger King is top quality stuff, mate.
It is. Top quality.
It's
Mate.
overpriced quality stuff.
It is very overpriced, I'll give you that, but quality of taste of the burg is so good that you just
Taste
can't
of the
deny that.
Berg is a t-shirt that
Berg.
I want, mate. You just can't beat a double bacon cheese XL from Burger King, Tom.
You really can't. You absolutely can't.
I challenge you to find me something else that would beat it. And don't say Five Guys, because that's an easy win. We're taking Five Guys
Well,
off the table.
I mean, is it an easy win?
I mean, you've got your double quarter pounders permanently on the menu now
Oh, that
at
is
McDonald's.
That's true.
that is a
So-
sensational change to my life. That is.
I mean, me and Becky keep having a weekly debate like about the title of it, because like, shouldn't it be called an half pounder? I'm like, look, if they want to call it a double quarter pounder, they can call it that. I just got killed by a zombie.
We just killed two of them.
But keeping it actually, I've got a fun tidbit for you. Keeping it horror themed in regards to food on a gaming podcast. Burger King released a spooky burger a few years ago, and the bun on it was like black, like charcoal black, and it had like orange sesame seeds, and it was like
remember seeing
a,
it.
Oh, God.
and let's just say in the most like polite way possible, it had side effects from eating a coloured bun with black bread and orange sesame seeds. That's all I'll say. So that in itself was the true horror of eating that burger. Murphy, if you're still here, have you? Oh, what are we at?
Mate.
Oh, we've got a question here, guys, and it's a PLAYCast and JUMPCUT play specialty from the Warzone stream, the Verdansk one, the 24-hour one. What have we had for his tea?
Oh, you know what I've had?
Tell everybody. Tell us.
Cheesy pasta, mate, is what I've had.
Simple, elegant.
There was
love
there
it.
was a thread the other day on Twitter asking people their on for a combined with the episode that was all the depression meals, and I made mine today. Don't read into that. That's not a thing to be psychoanalyzed. Like, truthfully, it's not that. It's just because it's delicious. So, yeah, that was my dinner, and it was very, very nice, very, very tasty.
And on a scale of like 1 to spooky, I guess, because we've got to keep it horror themed for this horror themed gaming podcast where we talk about food as well. What would you rate it from 1 to 10 spooks?
It's not very spooktacular, just because it's my comfort zone food. So I would say it's probably, well, considering at one point I did eat too much of it, and I had a bit of heartburn. I'd say the heartburn was a solid 8 out of 10 spooks.
And Tom, what have you had for your tea? And again, same question: 1 to 10 spooks.
I cooked myself a shepherd's pie.
Oh, mate!
Oh, nice!
Because
That's put me to shame.
yeah, it was my first time. I had to go out. I had to go buy a dish. I had to go buy the masher, potato peeler, and everything. I didn't have anything in the flat. I had to go out and buy everything specially for it.
I love that this is its own little saga to make the shepherd's pie.
A little trip to Wilco's to get a dish. And they didn't have a masher, so I had to go to Sainsbury's and go get one.
Just use a fork, mate. No, this mashing nonsense. Just use a fork.
Just use your bare hand.
I'll take that advice. I'll take that. I
Just squish it.
Just grip the potato.
Grip it with force on it so it explodes. And on a scale, as I say, 1 to 10 spooks, where would you rate this shepherd's pie experience?
The shepherd's pie wasn't spooky, but
sentences I never thought I'd hear.
I don't know why. I was not prepared for these kind of questions tonight. But I don't know why. Well, I know why, but shepherd's pie and mince and peas has always been like a Octoberish, Halloween food. I don't know, no, I don't. I need to explain it, not like we only eat it in October kind of thing. When we used to, I can't even explain myself.
Is it autumnal? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's it. It's autumnal, mince and peas and gravy and a Yorkshire pudding and things like that. It's just cold nights and early, dark nights and all that. It's just reminded me of, like we said, autumnal food. It's put me in a winter mood.
But again,
it's almost
spooky.
Winter properly. I can't wait.
What was the experience of going out to get your accoutrement spooky?
Well, Sheffield, it's fucking frightening. It's people with masks under the nose and everything. You can't trust people.
Well,
that was the spooky part.
I'm glad that you survived the terrors of shopping in Sheffield, and that provided you the means to relive spooky shepherd's pie. Because according to you, that is a Halloween staple. Is what you've just tried to say.
Don't mess with my traditions.
I think this is as good a point as any.
I'm gonna make you a mean shepherd's pie. And I'm gonna bring it to the office, and then you'll see. You'll be like, I know what you're talking about now. Wait till you experience it.
I mean, that's a pretty bold claim. I'll be scared if you bring in me a shepherd's pie when you said you've had this revenge plot since the Warzone stream to get revenge on me. And now you're bringing food into the equation. I'm not sure I can sample that.
A black burger with orange sesame seeds was bad.
That's different. I paid for that from an established chef in a fast food restaurant.
What are you trying to say about my cooking?
I'm not trying to say anything about your cooking. I'm just saying that I paid a chef in a fast food restaurant with
recording to the turn.
I paid a chef with established credits on his resume within the.
Oh, all right. We're talking resumes. I see.
Well, wow me with your food resume, Tom, and I might consider it.
Beans on toast.
Okay.
Pop a bit of Cajun in your beans. Bit of cheese on top.
No, I've done that. My friend makes them called he calls them cowboy beans, and they're like spicy beans. It's so nice.
So good.
Mm.
This is some content right here.
Fuck John Favreau. Let's start our own fucking Netflix show. Let's do it.
Jump Cook.
Jump Chef.
I mean, that could have some other connotations that maybe we should think about in the marketing meetings for it. But let's just say Jump Cook is very much a draft idea at the moment.
We'll have to change the OnlyFans first.
But I think the way this conversation has segued is a very good way to outro the episode. And as always, we have our lovely Patreons to thank for their support, and I hope when they do watch this and listen to this, they appreciate our chef stories as well for them. But as always, we have to thank Chris Wilson, Let There Be Light Productions, Zoe Baines, Dowell Griffiths, Sam Luck, Ola Smith, Peter Hodgkins, Andy Meakin, Fabiana Rossas, Hamish Calvert and Martin Richmond. Your support means the absolute world to us and we really appreciate it. But I think we can all safely say this has been probably the most unhinged episode of the JUMPCAST PLAYCAST episodes ever, and I think it's all the better for it really. Not only have we wowed the audience with our incredible Warzone skills that they've listened to or seen, but we've also taught them a little bit about the culinary arts, and I think they'll appreciate that, to be honest. But do you have anything to plug, gentlemen?
Better people.
I think so. I'm definitely going to, when I stop broadcasting this to Twitch, I'm going to reflect on my life and my cooking skills, and maybe I'll take a page out of Tom's book. Maybe I'll consider what my traditions are and whether mince and peas is definitely a spooky season favourite.
It could be. It should very well be.
I think so.
Make that my new tradition.
The Jump Cook cooking book. That's got a ring to it, that. I like it.
Coming to Kickstarter.
It's just going to have like the title written in crayon, I think. It's got like a nice, like, warm aesthetic to it. It's very welcoming. Anybody could do it. But before we go, do either of you have anything you'd like to plug? Anything you'd like to shout out? Any more culinary stories you'd like to share before we end this episode on a very spooky food note?
Nothing culinary to share, I'm afraid. But I do have a few reviews from London Film Festival up on the website if you would like to read those. The one is on Mangrove, the Steve McQueen film. One is on a film called Cicada, which I've really liked. And I'm currently in the process of writing a review of the fabulous Another Round with Mads Mikkelsen, which is about booze and drinking. It's pretty good fun. So if you want to check those out on the website, please do so. And I was also on the recent JUMPCAST episode all about the trial of the Chicago 7, the Netflix Sorkin Spectacular. And it got heated in myself and Fiona, so it's very well worth listening to.
It did.
Reese on another podcast episode, who knew?
Hey, he's the veteran, and we love him for it.
The veteran, indeed.
Tom, do you have any more expertise or anything you'd like to shout out? It can be food related. If not, please let us know.
No more recipes to share. I'll not throw them all out there at once. We'll do one each time I appear.
All right, fair enough.
Every Halloween spectacular.
We'll not give everything away at once. We'll leave them wanting more. I've not really got anything to plug, other than just JUMPCUT itself. Really, the site has been absolutely flooded with content the past couple of weeks with London Film Festival and New York Festival and like that. I can't imagine how much Fiona's working at the minute, getting all these reviews up, but likewise the writers as well. All these reviews out so quickly. Like today we've had the Borat 2 review up, which I've yet to read, but spoiler free, I've heard, so I will be checking that out.
I can't wait to see that film.
Me too.
But yeah, just keep supporting JUMPCUT and checking out what we put out.
And what recipes we have to share as well. The only thing I would obviously play is just JUMPCUT Play. This October we've got like horror themed content coming out from our own team and new contributors alike, and there's some really great pieces to check out, and you can expect to see those as the month begins to come to a close. And yeah, there's PLAYCast as well. As I said, this is the 7th episode, and we've tried it in a bit of an experimental format, and I hope you guys can agree that it was a somewhat success. I think it's been a very interesting experience, and I'd be very keen to try it again, and hopefully keep the topic more on track next time. But I hope that our food expertise and stories of life have really inspired you in these very odd times. And that is about it for episode 7 of PLAYCast. So we'll send you. We're not going to send you anything. I was going to say we're going to see you, but I guess if you want me to send you something, just DM me. I don't know what it'll be. Maybe it'll be a recipe. I'll ask Tom to send me something, and then I'll send it to you. But we'll see you again in another 2 weeks with another episode. And until then, stay safe, and we'll catch you again soon. Bye bye.